Hello everybody, welcome. I'm here with Madhu Kochar talking about the most interesting thing in the enterprise, which everybody runs into, which is integration. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Holger. Good to be here.
And we're here at Think and lots of news coming out. What is happening in the integration area?
Yeah, I think let me start first by, integration, middleware, always kind of in a back end, like a plumbing, nobody sees it, nobody talks about it, right? But now it is truly becoming a conversation at board level, right? And why it's becoming such a big thing is because I personally think there are 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, I think the whole Gen AI is driving it. From a perspective of not that new AI type applications are coming, but clients have made tons of investments in these integrations, and is that tech stack ready for the future, right? So that's bringing the conversations forward. Number 2, I think it's all about the cost and the management. By that I mean, if you think about all the sprawls we see out there, right? APIs are everywhere. Sometimes you don't even know what's happening in your organization. App integrations, which is the integration story, a lot of that. You name it, and there's a gateway everywhere, right? B2B events are everywhere, data is everywhere, so right, there's a sprawl of that. And top of it is now it's truly hybrid, right? Because you got applications running at the edge, you have it on-prem, you have it in multi-cloud. So I think all of those things are starting to make integration more in the forefront. Talk about, in the board, like what's the strategy there? So that I think is driving a lot of these conversations.
Totally agree with you, and I think AI has been the thing which has pushed things over the top, in the sense that people realize, you can't quite ask a preschool kid, like, what was the quality of AI? They will say it's the data, right? All of a sudden, the data in the silos, where it's traditionally has been the enterprise, is not good enough anymore with some batch interfaces or remote jobs or API calls or EDI documents, right? That's all kind of, we've been doing integrations for a very long time, right? At the moment, I think actually IBM is culpable for the integration problem. Do you know why? Because you build a second mainframe. As long as there was only one mainframe, there was no integration problem, everything was there. It was only an access problem, right? But at the moment the second mainframe was there, or the third people had an integration problem, which was a difficult one, not just on-premise, right? But beyond premise, right? I don't know, have to ask the IBM history of the second mainframe with the same customer, because then there was an intra-web issue outside of the web
we should ask that question
But the interesting thing is that AI, right, all of a sudden, bring your data together, ask the question, where is my data? And how do I move that data? And I can't move the data in the same way. Right? So,
so that's why, when you think about it, when we say, hey, AI is going to be as good as your data, this is great, because that is the right answer. But at the end of the day is, so what are the outcomes we're looking for AI, right? It's like, am I more productive? Am I delivering things faster, right? There's a sense of urgency and speed. So there's definitely where AI plays a big role. So that's why we announced actually yesterday our new product, Web Methods Hybrid Integration.
Exactly, I was going to ask you about it.
And that's the whole purpose. When I was up on the stage, I said, that's how we have reimagined integration for AI era, right? Like, I truly believe in that.
So tell us a little more. What does Web Methods, the new edition, do?
So I think there's obviously tons of capabilities, but I would highlight 2 critical parts. One is what I call hybrid control plane, but why we did this, right? So first, number one is, look, we know clients have made tons of their investments in integrations. To your point earlier, there's point-to-point integration, very static and rigid, and not ready for the future. And we talked about, like Rob talked yesterday, saying, hey, 1 billion new apps by 2028, so am I really ready for that, right? So the purpose of hybrid control plane is that it provides a single pane of glass to the IT team where they can have full visibility and control of their integrations. Why is that important? Is because, M&As have happened, mergers and acquisitions have happened in customers, old investments have been there, they're wanting to get ready for the next, understanding where my stuff is. We talk about sprawls, right? what type of APIs I have. Are they managed? Are they secured? What type of integration flows I have? Which integrations are talking from one business partner to another business partner? What's involved? Seeing that full visibility is great. But the reason we are more excited and why we think we are differentiated is because you can take control right there and then. Meaning, if some mission critical application fails, today what happens is literally you have to get hundreds of people on a call, right? Because your systems, your applications, and your data might not be connected. So where is the problem? How do we know? In this case, on a hybrid control plane, I can quickly identify which part of my function I'm seeing red. What's the block, right? And quickly able to drill into it and gets the benefit, right? Benefit is what you can fix problems quickly, totally impacts what percentage of time you have spent on downtime, right? Nobody wants outages. So that is like one of the key things I want to talk about, which that's why I say we are reimagining for the AI era, because once I have the visibility, when I have the control, I have the confidence. Because nobody, when I tell some people, like, think of integration as a plumbing, like in your house. If you have to build a new room into your home, you're not going to say, hey, let's unglue all this, right? Nobody does that.
Out,
nobody does that.
And that creates a layering effect, which adds to the complexity, right?
Exactly.
I like to go even, you went to the water analogy, I like to go to the physical network in an enterprise, because you can't do integration without the network.
Of course,
And in every enterprise company I know, somewhere in a corner, in a closet, is a networking cabinet that is on, that is dusty. And if someone says, shall we turn it off? Say, no, we don't know what it is, but don't touch it. And similarly, the same thing for the time, like you said, has layered up in the software integration part. So the single pane of glass, which shows me what is really there, finds that, and gives the overview, because it gets more complex, right? I'm glad you mentioned Rob's 1 billion apps. But 1 billion apps is probably 10 times, 15 times more integrations.
Totally, 100%, right? That's the other reason now why this is boardroom discussion, right? So I think hybrid control plane really sets the stage for us. The second key functionality in this new offering is really all about agentic AI. That is where we have built in integration agents within the product. Why is that important? Because look, when you have to, I was giving an example yesterday on one of our luxury retailer, a marketeer just have to get a sale campaign going. It sounds like a very simple ask. Everybody's been doing chats and assistant, but we don't realize that behind the scenes, in order to operationalize that simple ask, it's like you have to span like 7 to 8 different systems. You have to glue, you have to put a ticket out to the IT team, you have to go talk to your database guys, you have to talk to this application, go to this, and then connect it all into the marketing tool. Lots of tools behind the scenes. So this is where AI really shines, because now you can, we know where the data is, because as you have learned it, it can generate the series of actions for you. You can even go execute, but we're not there yet where people actually trust, like I can push the button and go there. So there's always a human in the loop, like every step. Hey, I've generated these actions. Do you want to look at it? Want to review it? Do you want to proceed and whatnot, right? And this is obviously with thinking about security and compliance, because you can't be an enterprise if you don't have that.
No, and you can't be IBM with an offering which doesn't offer that, right? As a table stake. If a startup, maybe we'll have to look at that in a little more detail. If it's good enough, if it's IBM, you expect it for granted, right?
So I think that really, those two are the key, which drivers, I think are going to set us up for the future.
I totally agree. What is your take on integration, right? You could take a radical position saying we put all the data in a lakehouse, in a data lake, right? You announced a lakehouse here at the conference too. And integration becomes a SQL statement. Instead of having point-to-point solutions, which you forget are in the network closet or somewhere, right? Nobody knows how to run them, built-in technology which is obsolete or whatever. What about putting all my data into a lakehouse? And then integration, like I said, is maybe even agentic user saying, give me all my campaign data.
Which you can get it all, right? I think those things have been done in the past also, right? So I think the clients will get to the lakehouse for the right set of subsets of the data and whatever. And then yes, the integration gets faster, better to go there, right? So that's why we are announcing a lot in our Watson X data too, and it's not just about the structured data, it's all about the unstructured data as well, and right, all this is going to play into the success of the agents. And end of the day, that's what I think, right? And these are all sort of interconnected parts of the whole automation. End of the day, that's what it's going to be.
And you touched a little bit, AI as a cause for more integration bubbling up in the boardroom agenda. But the interesting thing is also that AI is changing how we do integrations by themselves and help us with one of the problems which always comes after integration. First, we build a new system, we need to integrate it, and oh my God, we have a data problem, right? So what's your view on agents helping to build integration, agents helping to make data better and cleaner?
Yeah, so I think, like I said, look, we got AI within the product, but then the AI outside, that is where the future is going to be. So what are these new AI apps going to look like? What is those endpoints, and how does integration work differently for those endpoints, right? As data becomes easy to access, all type of data, that's another important thing. That becomes easy to access. I still think we have to see how these AI apps will behave and do, right? So there's, we got to work.
A lot of trust building
We have
necessary.
to see that, but that is where we are getting ahead in integration space to say, look, future. I think it's not a hype, but MCP, Model Context Protocol, this is here to stay. The servers which we are building, imagine one day that all my integration type of agents are just part of your servers. You can just get to the endpoints. Maybe integration is that, and then anybody who is maybe not that tech savvy or technical can quickly click and get the answers. Exactly. To me, that is where the future is going to be.
You might have answered now my question already, because I was going to ask you, coming to the end here, it's if everything goes well, what's the thing most exciting you see coming next only 12 months? Right? And which you think has a high chance to become realistic, right?
I think going back to, I really think MCP is here to stay. I think it's going to become a reality. And I think I should feel like this area is going to get disruptive, which it is because of that. So what we are working hard is, look, now how do I get to that next step? How do this shows up as tools? End of the day, right? Dinesh Nirmal talked about data as the tool, right? So how do we then start surrounding it with what other tools are needed? To me, information integration agents are just one of those. So I think MCP servers are here to stay, and I think that's going to disrupt this market a lot.
And I think the next discussion is going to be, how do agents talk to each other, right? There's an A2A standard which has been announced, right?
And how all the security aspect comes to it, right? You can't just have rogue agents running around, So I think it's there's a lot of excitement in this technology go forward.
Did I forget anything you want to mention, want to talk about?
No, I think you covered most of it.
Perfect, my pleasure.
That was great.
Great conversation with you. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.